welcome to the album man, and today we're going to be discussing a new release by the name of One Hopeful Road by Vintage Trouble. This is a record with quite a bit of hype behind it. Vintage Trouble are hot off the back of their support slot with AC/DC on AC/DC's Rock or Bust tour, potentially one of their final tours. And as a result of this, and previous tours with bands such as the Rolling Stones and I Have a Thing The Who as well, they've gained quite the cult following, also appearing I think at Glastonbury in 2014. Now, I wasn't aware of who this band was, I have to admit, until I saw them live when they were supporting AC/DC at Wembley Stadium. And I can't say I was particularly blown away by the band. They seemed a competent band with a cool groove and a charismatic frontman. They seemed like they had some potential and that they could, in the future one day, make a really great album. But I kind of hate to say that One Hopeful Road, to me, their second studio release, is not the breakthrough album they really needed. This is not the modern classic in the making, and this is not the sort of Great Western Valkyrie rival sons moment for the band. While this album does have its moments, they are too far and few between for me to really recommend this. For those unaware of the band completely, they are basically in that scene of that classic rock 70s style, bands like Blackberry Smoke, The Answer, Rival Sons, but the more apt comparisons are bands like Alabama Shakes and I suppose Gary Clark Jr. to an extent, because Vintage Trouble's unique thing to them, well, I say unique in inverted commas, is that they add a soul and a funk element to the classic rock sound. So think Led Zeppelin meets James Brown, I suppose, at its most fundamental level. There are rays of light and rays of hope across this album, and as we wind on down the road, we'll find quite a few things to like about it. To me, Vintage Trouble are best when they're making the type of song that is just high energy rock and roll songs. The opener, Run Like a River for example, lures you into this kind of false sense of security because of this song. You think that the album is going to have a sort of a strong ZZ Top bluesy vibe from now cult slide guitar and Ty Taylor's powerful vocals, and this song comes across very well, and while slick and professional in its production value, it definitely has something to add, has an irresistible charm to it. But don't get the impression from hearing this song that it's like the rest of the album, not too much at all.
Mama said run, baby, run. Run, baby, run. Mama said run, baby, run. Run like the river.
And of course there are other songs in a similar vein, like Angel City, California. This steals the show, both live and on the record. This was the song that was like, damn, these guys have some serious potential. These guys have some talent and are capable of crafting a great sound. This is a genuinely fantastic song. Why? Because while not treading new ground, it just highlights the best part of the band, which is easily Ty Taylor, the frontman and vocalist. He is a very charismatic, very endearing frontman who knows how to get an audience going. He has a hell of a voice, really does. His soulful tones, he's smooth but powerful, has that rock edge at times but can croon a ballad with the best of them. Fantastic frontman, and Angel City, California is definitely one of the highlights because of this. It's just all out rock and roll bliss. The solid drum beat driving the warm, old school fuzzy guitar leading to an impeccable chorus. It's just so anthemic and also kind of retro in nature. The problem is just there's not enough of this on the record. When these summer jams are drenched in fuzz and oozing energy, these guys seem like a band that could take the world by storm. And sure, Strike a Light has a whirlwind energy to it, but that's about it. And while these songs are enjoyable, they're just still, at the end of the day, rather derivative 70s style classic rock songs, even at their best. But they're a different beast in the studio, without a doubt, and Ty's voice is a different beast in the studio, and I'd possibly put that more down to the producer than to the Vintage Trouble themselves, and we'll discuss that in a little. before you accuse me of getting the wrong end of the stick because I just said that even at their best, some of their songs are rather derivative 70s rock, you say, well, no, hold on, no. The thing about Vintage Trouble is they bring this kind of soul, a bit of funk into their music, so surely that element makes them stand out a bit. The problem is the songs where the abundance, where this influence, I suppose, is overly abundant and overly clear, I mean, I find underwhelming. I admit that I'm not particularly a soul fan myself, and I only have a passing knowledge of some of the genre's greats, so it is difficult for me to comment too much on the soulier aspects of the album, but I can tell you what I enjoy and what I don't, and the slow soulful ballads such as From My Arms or the really poor Doing What You're Doing are just as soft and gentle and meandering as it gets. I understand that soul music is meant to have a smooth tone and a chill feel to it, but the songwriting makes me want to fall asleep, not lay back and chill. When I listen to Marvin Gaye, sure, it's laid back, but there is a strength and a dynamism in that guy's songwriting. There is a mastery of melody that just keeps me engaged. And here we just have uninspired lyrics full of cliches with few memorable melodies to them. And that's not to say that every ballad suffers the same fate, because some stuff, like the 70s R&B style, Another Man's Words, a pulsating bass line, cascading guitar, and just has a life and a spark as Ty puts his heart on his sleeves and you really feel his pain. It's just a shame that this is the exception to the rule. As I alluded to earlier, I think that the main issue with the Vintage Trouble is not really the bands themselves, but potentially their producer, Don Was, who I kind of feel has sucked the life from the LA Quintet's live shows when transposing it to an album. The energy and charisma from the live shows is rarely found here. Instead we have something that's rather clinically produced. It's slick, but insipid and often dull. I want to see these guys really wig out, let their hair down in a raucous manner. Get someone like Dave Cobb or Kevin Shirley in and make the soulful elements really passionate and the rock elements raw. I do hate to say this is really just another watered down corporate rock album that fails to impress me. I listen to a lot of this type of music, this 70s rock revival, and this doesn't inspire me. This doesn't make me want to see them live on solo shows. Not yet, but they're a band I'm going to closely follow because they have a lot of talent, and I think when they manage to break free from their corporate rock shackles, they could be something really, really good. A 6 out of 10 though for the Vintage Trouble's One Hopeful Road. This has been TheAIbumMan. Thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll.